Well, hi guys. This is your boy Ron Pratt, the coordinator and president of the Team Trail Bass Association Fishing. Let's see if we get some people to come in. What's up, Robert? What's up? Good to see you. Okay, got you. Just playing a little bit of my music in the background. See if we can get anybody else in here. This is called Sweet Lovin'. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop that and get started. Again, my name is Ron Pratt. I am the coordinator and president of the Team Trail Bass Association Fishing. And tonight I want to talk about online fishing and the misconception of online fishing and basically how it works. Now, so I'm going to get into basically how online fishing works because I want to change the minds. I know people are afraid, and I've heard that before. I heard how people are scared to fish online tournaments. But a question I have is this. Those who fish in kayaks, who fish kayak tournaments, how do they report their catch to the weighmaster or to the tournament director? Through an app. Kayak anglers who fish tournaments have to fish through an app. They don't do a weigh-in like you would do for those who are in bass boats, who do live weigh-ins, who carry their fish around a live well all day until the end of the day of the tournament and then take them in. Well, online fishing is the same way. We do it through an app. That way, you're not carrying fish around all over the place. You're not having to go to a weigh-in live. You can do everything right there, wherever you're at, on the water, on the shore, and submit your fish. But we're going to go into how this all works, and hopefully that at the end of this live, that you'll have a better understanding on how everything works and that how many safeguards are put in place for anglers out there. So one of the biggest questions I have is this, is one of the biggest burning questions for anglers, especially when it comes to online fishing, is this. Cheating and ensuring fair play, verifying legitimacy of the catches, and given the virtual nature of the tournaments, this includes concerns about verifying the size of the species and the fish, ensuring that the catch time and location are accurate, and providing any form of dishonesty, such as using previously caught fish or differently changing out fish. Well, I'm going to say what makes me an expert and why I can talk about this subject is because I use an app called Fish Donkey, which is an online app. Now, one of the ways, or some of the biggest ways that we do to, especially when we talk about cheating, because that's the biggest one. And if any of you follow fishing like I do, you know, in 2023 and 2024, in live weigh-in tournaments, anglers have been busted for cheating, for weighting down their fish and expecting to get away with it. Well, as we know, if you follow in 2023, those anglers got some jail time, fined, um, and it wasn't pretty. And I don't even know if they got. I'm pretty sure they got disqualified to fish any tournaments at least a year. And then the guys in 2024 also got fined, no jail time, but I think they also was dismissed from fishing. But we're talking about these are live tournaments. Now, I know if a guy can come in and weight his fish down and cheat in a live weigh-in, yeah, I know you guys expect, well, hey, this is online. They can easily cheat being online. Well, I'm going to dispel, debunk that theory. Because with Fish Donkey, the way the app works is that when you first catch your first fish and you bring it in, you're going to have to do a profile. You're going to have to use what we call a bumper board, like this. So bumper board so we can see. And this one happens to be by Fish Donkey. And you're going to have to do a release video. So what the app does is this. Once they take a picture of it, and then that comes to me, I get to determine whether or not that fish is legal. And if it's not legal, if it doesn't meet certain criteria during the tournament, that fish will not be certified as one of your catches. Also, this app will not only identify your fish, but if you try to take that same fish and bring it back later, the app will recognize that that's the same fish and will alert me that you put up the same fish. Also, I like to use this analogy when it comes to, like, if you were a boater and a non-boater. Now, when you sign up for the tournament and you have a partner who happens to be fishing with you, which is fine, but the app, when you take that profile picture, is only going to recognize the person who signed up for the tournament. So in other words, you cannot go and say you catch a fish and you tell your friend, you go ahead, this time you weigh that fish out and do all the steps that's necessary. Well, the app will recognize that you are not the original person who signed up for the tournament and who should be presenting those fish for far as length, because we do on length and not on weight. The app will automatically kick you back. I will get a message saying that who is this guy, basically, and this is not the original person who fished the tournament. And my suggestion with that is that anytime that any of my tournaments online that you fish, that you also take a picture with your buddy at the same time, whether he catches the fish, she catches the fish, or you catch the fish. So it will recognize that you are the original, but both of you in that, so we can both recognize that you're in there. Also, like I said, with this app. So one thing, you cannot just bring back the same fish because I've already told you. You got to take a profile. So that means you're going to hold your fish up with your face in the picture. You're going to take your fish. You're going to put it on this bumper board with the mouth up to the front. And we're going to find the total length into this tail wherever it lands on here on the marker. And then you have to release that fish. You have to do a video. In my tournaments, you will have to do a video of that fish in order for that fish to qualify. So these are some of the ways that we can prevent cheating. Also, you can't stretch a fish. So you can put all the weight into it that you want to. We're going to go by length, and we're not going to go by weight. Each fish, again, must be released at the end of all the steps that you take to get your fish to qualify. Every time a fish comes in, as tournament director, I will see your length and any other things that's necessary for you to make that fish qualify for the tournament, or even as the catch. Also, the people I'm in touch with periodically on the Fish Donkey app. Also, they keep track of what's going on out there when people are fishing tournaments and letting the tournament directors know if there's anything that's out of place or anything that we need to check. They keep in touch with us. So, excuse me, they take in every precaution possible to make this fun, to make this exciting, to not have to worry about anybody cheating or trying to bring in, more fish. And I'm going to tell you, with me as a tournament director, if you fish my tournament and I bust you cheating, that's not what you want to do. That is not what you want to do, because I will not stand for cheating in my tournaments. And if you have to cheat, I'm going to say this. If you have to cheat, then you should find you a new sport to get involved in. Or just go out there and fish by yourself, because there's no room for cheaters in competitive fishing. There's not. And I will make your life miserable if you cheat my tournaments. But anyway, we don't plan for anybody cheating. But that gives you an idea of how it works far through the app. The app is very safe. Everything that you do is going to be through the app. When you get ready to sign up for the tournament, you're going to do that through the app. You're going to pay for the tournament through the app. So make sure that you have a good phone or or not a laptop, but say maybe one of the other little phones. I forget what they call a notepad, maybe a little notepad, but that's definitely your phone, iPhone or Android. If you're on my website at teamtrailbass.com and look at the tournaments, you'll see that the app is on the website that you can download to your phone. So, and another reason why this gives me, expertise on it, and why I say I have the expertise on this, because like I said, I've been using that app since COVID. I started out as in a local bass club here in Las Vegas, and I was in that bass club for 9 years. And for 3 of those years, I was tournament director and vice president. So I got an idea on how tournaments run, and how they behave, and how we deal with anglers in a live situation. Also, another thing is that when I started this app because when COVID hit in 2020, it made it hard for people to come together and do things together and be out there. So I was trying to come up with a way that would be beneficial for those who wanted to compete in fishing, that they can go out and still compete and still have a good time. I think this app, when you talk about this app, I'm going to tell you about some things that a lot of the things that are exciting about fishing. You know, people say, well, they think that this sport is not exciting, or you can't have fun of it because, you know, you ain't got your boys next door, or you're not coming up to a live weigh in and y'all slapping fives and hearing the weights and all that. But trust me, online fishing is as just as much fun as it is if you do a live weigh-in. Trust me, they really are. Uh, there's a organization I follow called NC Lunkers. They are nothing but an online fishing tournament. And matter of fact, this past season of Major League Fishing, I just happened to see one of the boats out there with NC Lunkers logo on their boat. And they do online fishing. If you want to look them up on Facebook, you can look them up on Facebook and find NC Lunkers. They are a online fishing tournament, and they hold tournaments every month. Every month. But let's talk about some of the great things about online fishing. Trust me, there's a lot of great things. It's very convenient, uh, easy to do. Like I said, all you need is that app on your phone when you get ready to fish these tournaments. So let me give you some. There's 5 things about that makes this such a great sport, and the way we do it online. So we want to talk about accessibility. These tournaments allow anglers from all over the world to participate without the need of travel, making them accessible to a broader audience. So one thing we can do, you can fish and compete against anglers across the country, even around the world, because there are apps that do international and tournaments. That's one thing. Flexibility. Participants often have a set period to fish at their convenience, which can attract more participants who may not be able to commit to a specific date or location. One thing about my tournaments is this, that the flexibility is it's a 7-day tournament. So if you can't fish this day or that day, there's still plenty of days to fish. It lasts from the day that it starts to the day it ends. So if it's a 7 days, you got 7 days, so you can fish at night if you want to. It doesn't make any difference. It gives you that flexibility, so you're not tied down to really a schedule, especially those who work or have other things they may have to do on certain days. This gives you the flexibility to do that. Now, technical advancement. Now, as I said, with smartphones, apps, and social media have enhanced the activity experience. It enables real-time updates, leaderboards, and sharing of catches, which adds to the excitement. One thing I like about this, so as soon as somebody catches a fish, you're going to know about it. You're going to know if, hey, he caught a bigger fish than you, or he caught a smaller fish than you. It gives you a chance to reach out to each other and joke and laugh and still feel that camaraderie via social media. You guys are already doing it now with the apps, with a lot of people I watch that are out there fishing and doing lives. You're already doing that. You're showing that camaraderie. People are interacting with you. So this is no different. The only thing is you're in a tournament and you're fishing against people across the country. And this really gives you a chance on seeing how well, how great you are as an angler. See if you have the skills. On top of that, there's other things out there too. Like they have fish finders that you can use from shore. You put it on a rod, you tie it to a line, you cast it out. You have an app that goes on your phone. Matter of fact, I happen to have one on my boat that I can stream in real time, see the temperature, see the depth, see if there's fish in the location. So there's really no excuse for you to not be able to get out there and be competitive and compete, because they do have technology for you out there that you can also use on our website. Every time the end of each day of the tournament, there will always be a leaderboard up that you'll be able to check on and see how the standings are going and how everyone is doing and what position you are. Now, this is the one I like. What we talk about is community building. Online platforms foster a sense of community among anglers who can share tips, experiences, and support each other, further increasing interest. One thing I see about social media is that we're able to reach out across the country, even if we don't know these people. But we build some kind of community where people can ask questions and learn about different techniques or something they never seen before. Like I was talking to this angler the other day, and I saw something a little bit different in his setup. And I thought that was very interesting. And so I asked him about his setup and why was it set up that way. And he found that he had better control on his setup. And he fishes basically salt water and he fishes freshwater, but this was a saltwater setup. But it was interesting. So I learned something different, that the way I use equipment as a bass angler is a little different than maybe somebody might use the same equipment that might help them out in a better situation and give them better control, better casting, and whatever the case may be. But yeah, this helps build community. Uh, and that's the whole thing. This is a whole movement that we're trying to do, that we're creating. I have friends in California, because I'm here in Las Vegas. I have guys in California that are building a community of anglers. They just held last year the Battle of LA, BOLA, where anglers from all over the community in different areas of the basin of LA got together and fished a tournament. I was able to be weighmaster for that tournament. It was great. It was the camaraderie, people come together, but that was in a live situation, and that was very great. But again, we're doing online. Again, this allows you to fish amongst other anglers across the country, and this really tests your skills. Now, number 5, environmental impact. One of the most important things, and what we're going through with our environment, the way the changes of weather are doing. Parts of the country that normally don't get snow are having snow. Even here in Las Vegas, even though we're not having snow, we're all of a sudden having a warming session here in beginning of February, which is not normal. So when we talk about environmental impact, also we want to talk about how online fishing helps with the impact of the environment. Virtual tournaments can be more environmental friendly by reducing travel and organization uh, efforts, appealing to socially conscious audience. That's one thing about online tournaments, is that you're not on the road, so you're not putting out those emissions from your car. Um, you get to sleep in your own bed. Um, There's no traveling. You don't have to travel from one state to the next state like a lot of the pros do, traveling from one state to the next state. The consumption of fuel that it takes, not only for their vehicles, but for their boats. The cost that it's going to cost you to have a place to stay on each trip if you don't have buddies, especially on the pro level, if you don't have buddies that may live in that state that you might be fishing, because a lot of times these anglers get a fish on their own home body of water. And some of those anglers are really close friends, so they either stay with them or they have to get a hotel. This gives you an opportunity. You don't have to go through all that. You get to sleep in your own bed. So, and food wise, you bring some food. You're not spending the cost for to eat other than what you bring from home. So this makes it very environmental friendly for the angler. You can't beat that. So one thing you get to do 5 things you get to do. These tournaments allow you to stay home, participate on your own lake against other anglers across the country. It gives you flexibility. You don't have to fish every tournament. It allows you to fish a tournament when it's convenient for you, whatever your situation in with family, with work. The technology with phones and iPads, and also you can get fish finders that you can use from the shore. Also, I want to tell you too, the equipment you don't need in my tournaments, online tournaments, is a boat. So if you don't have a boat, that makes this very flexible, that you don't need a boat. But my tournaments are going to test your skills. Also, community building. And that's the most important thing, that we share with our community, that we embrace the outdoors with family, get them out off them couch, get them kids off them phones and PlayStations, and out there in front of nature, learning about nature. That's so important. And even too, building community. So if you go to another state, who knows, might be in that state that you were fishing against, and now you are out there fishing together, just having good times, talking about the tournament or whatever that case may be. That helps build community and environmental impact. As far as gas, gas is going to probably go up again. The cost of groceries, the travel, the wear and tear on your equipment. Online fishing handles all of that, making it so much easier for you as a competitor, as an angler, as one who just enjoys outdoors and love to compete. But the cost, and I know the cost is tremendous. So this saves you all the way around. There's no need to be afraid. In my tournaments, I allow you to use any bait, but we know if you're a bass angler, we use artificial baits. That's just known. Yes, you could use cutoff bait. Yes, you could use live worms, but we all know as bass anglers, we use artificial baits, crank baits, Ned rigs, Carolina rigs, Texas rigs, whatever we can set up far as our type of baits we use, false baits for bass. If we fish for crappie, we can also use artificial baits for crappie, but you also can use mealworms, red worms for crappie. And for catfish, you're going to use any type of cut up bait that best fish for catfish. Because in one of my tournaments, it is a three species type of tournament, and you'll be able to use all three types of those baits in my tournament. Now, in my bass tournament, I would prefer you use artificial baits, but I'm not going to make that a demand. If you catch fish on worms, on real worms, then that's fine. Be my guest. But there are going to be rules on when you catch, how you present it, and how you release it. So it doesn't really make a difference how you catch it, other than there will be no netting. The scooping it, netting the fish out of the water because it passed by. If you're going to net it, it's got to be online, hooked on, a lure or bait. If you're using a net, there'll be no gaffing fish out of the water, because we're releasing them back into the water. So I hope that this will give you some better idea about how online fishing work is very safe. I feel that it better suits our fisheries due to the mortality rate of fish caught during fishing tournaments, weekend warriors, fun fishing. And we have to do a better job, especially on the mortality rate when it comes to fish. And especially when you're fishing from the shore, a lot of times we just drag the fish in, and that's really not good for the fish at all. Unless you plan to harvest that fish, if you fish the tournaments where you're fishing from the shore, I would suggest that you use a net to help bring it into the water. That way, you don't destroy the slime coat, you don't bang the fish all around and stressing the fish out, and that we could have a better release for them. Same thing from a boat. If you fish from a boat or from a john boat, whatever, you know, practice good safety when it comes to the fish. Make sure your hands are wet, because we don't want to remove the slime coat. Try not to have them banging around all over the fish, all over the deck of your boat, if you can prevent that. Sometimes, not always, but if you can prevent that, that would be great. Be gentle when you're placing them on your bumper board and taking pictures, and make a quick release. The faster we get the fish back into the water, the better chance that fish has to survive. So with that said, I thank for those who came in to watch. You see this video uh, later on YouTube or any other platform. Check it out again. Online fishing, I feel, is just as exciting as it is to do a live weigh-in. I feel that for the fish, it's better for the fish and the mortality rate of the fish. But other people have different opinions about that, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, again, I thank you for joining me. I hope this gave you great information. I hope this uh, debunked the idea that online fishing is something that people will cheat on you and try to get over on you on fishing, or do anything crazy. Like I said, there's too many eyes watching these online tournaments. And like I said, if you go check out on YouTube, NC Lunkers, they do online tournaments. Also, the people who host this uh, app that I use, Fish Donkey, also host online tournaments. Right now, they're really busy because of snow fishing or ice fishing, I should say. But anyway, I hope this clears up any things. Go check out the apps, do your own research, and find out how safe and how practical it is to fish online tournaments. Trust me, my tournaments are going to be fun. They're going to be great rewards, uh, decent payouts for the anglers. Also, my newest tournament that I'm going to do, the BAFL, is going to have Angler of the Year. And we're going to do interviews with the anglers who win the tournament. So we're going to make this as exciting as possible, make it online, keep it safe, keep it financially practical and conducive for the anglers, and still you guys can have a good time. Anyway, this is your boy Ron Pratt. I'm the coordinator, president, and founder of the Team Trail Bass Association Fishing. Be safe, see you on the water, and remember, don't be wishing, be fishing. I'm out.